So this is just a video to show how I added an oil catch can to my 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe. I have the 2.4 GDI, not the turbo. I think they're pretty similar, so this should work for turbo users as well. PCV valve comes out of here and normally goes to right here. I was able to reuse the original hose here. And then I just bought some extra tubing to attach it here to the oil catch can. There aren't a lot of places to mount the oil catch can here, and I didn't want to drill a hole, to be honest. So along here there are right here there were extra existing bolts that I decided to tie into. What I did is I took a flat piece of metal, I can't remember what it was, but I was able to bend it. It was pretty thin, and I just bent it to make my own bracket at a 90-degree angle. And then since it was sharp, I added some tape around it just to protect from any cuts. That allowed me to attach it 3 different places to give it a lot of stability, as well as to attach the oil catch can to it. Since it's thin metal, it flexes a bit, and I was worried a little bit about the catch can bouncing around, so I just added some zip ties here and here to give it a little more stability. It works super well as far as emptying it. Let's see if I can do this. It's a little tough to get your hand in there and get it out, but I'd rather be doing this than drilling holes in my car and that kind of thing. Okay. So I don't drive a ton. I check it every couple months. I've never really had more than this in there. But if you drive more or live in a different climate than me, then maybe your results may differ. One thing that I think is important to note, I added steel wool a little bit differently than most people. A lot of people don't really think it through, and they just jam as much steel wool in here as possible. You have to keep in mind that why is the steel wool there? Your positive air pressure is coming out of here, going through this oil catch can. It's made of aluminum, which is able to dissipate heat better. And that dissipation of heat is meant to condensate the vapor out of the air. So you add steel wool with a lot of surface area that is able to condensate that out and drip to the bottom of the can. But when you shove as much steel wool in as possible, you do 2 things. One, you reduce the air pressure going through the system, which I can't remember why it's bad, but it's no bueno for reducing your air pressure through the system. In addition to that, if you've jammed, your inlet is here and your outlet is here. If you jam as much in there as possible, the air is not going to go through the steel wool. It's going to stay in the very top of this can and swoop right by. So what I did, there's a little, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there's a little grate that I was able to tie into at the in portion of the catch can. What I did is I took a little wire and I wound it through the steel wool and attached it tightly to that to the inlet, if you will. That way the Let's see if I can get this on camera. That way, basically, the air literally has to go through the steel wool. And I cut it off so it leaves a little bit of extra clearance at the bottom. So it is able to drip and do its actual job and not prevent a ton of, not limit a bunch of air going through the system, as well as effectively doing its job. Hopefully that helps, and let me know if you have any questions.